Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Excuse the random rays of light. I'm using the window for my lighting today. I'm just taking advantage of the fact that it's sunny today and I'm home, so I'm making a video. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing my tips on building a clientele for hair braiders or hairstylists if you guys are new to the field. And this can also apply to those of you who are lash techs, nail techs, makeup artists, anything in that type of field in the beauty industry. But obviously, I'm more experienced as a hairstylist, so I'll be focusing more on that aspect. So I just have 4 tips written down here, so hopefully it could be helpful for those of you who are new out there and now starting to build up your clientele. So the first tip is be honest with yourself. Do you have the skills that you're advertising? Can you actually do the work that you say you can do? Are your skills up to par? If you are a new hairstylist, I always recommend working as an assistant, but that's if you are a licensed stylist and you went to school and you want to work in a salon. I would definitely say work as an assistant first, because what you learn in school, it's not enough. It's definitely not enough to be your own stylist just yet. So definitely work as an assistant, work on another stylist's clients and help out until you are ready to build up your own clientele. If you're a braider, obviously you don't have to go to school for that, but if you are a braider or you do weaves or anything like that, make sure you put in the time and you practice and get your skills together before you go advertising yourself as a hairstylist, because if people are sitting for hours and paying with their hard-earned money, they want to see something that is up to par. So make sure you're honest with yourself. Make sure you have the skills that you are advertising before you even think about building a proper clientele. So the second tip is have work to show. So when people are asking you about your services, or if you're talking about yourself providing these services, make sure you have some sort of proof to show them what you can do. Or not necessarily proof, but just something to show the work that you can do, because people are going to want to see that before they book with you. Make sure you either have pictures on your phone, pictures online somewhere, even yourself. Use yourself as advertisement. If you do hair, make sure your hair is done. And this is hard to say because we hairstylists, our hair is usually never done. Like, for example, like me right now today, this is a wig with a scarf on it. Obviously, my hair is not done. But at least try to put in the effort here and there so that when people see your hair, you can be like, I did that. Because me, for example, I do braids more than anything. And if you know me, you know I have braids in my hair like 80% of the year. My hair is in box braids. And I always do fun colors or different lengths and different styles or something. When I'm outside and people see my hair, they're like, oh, I love your braids. And I'll be like, thanks, I did it myself. And they'll be like, really? And I'm like, yeah, I'm a hair braider. And then the conversation goes from there. And then from there, I give them a business card or I pull out my Instagram. You know, use yourself for advertisement. So even if your hair is not always done, try to put in the effort and make sure that your hair is done. But I'll be honest, a lot of times I'm like, don't judge me by my hair, but I have work to show, okay? So make sure you have work to show. So if your hair's not done, have some sort of proof that you can do hair. So yeah, make sure you have yourself to show off, or you have your pictures. And of course, you want to have a social media. And that brings us to my next tip, social media. In this day and age, as sad as it is, you are nobody if you're not on social media. Your business does not exist if people can't go online and look you up. Especially for a hairstylist or any kind of independent business, you need to have some sort of social media. It's just the way it is. I hate that because I am not a social media person. I hardly ever post. Like, I can remember to post something on my story, but as for just sharing regular posts, and now we have to do reels and all that, that is so much work to me. But it has to be done in order to exist in your field. So I would say make sure you have an Instagram. If it's one social media platform, make sure it's Instagram. I feel like people always go straight to Instagram whenever they're looking for a new stylist. Make sure you have hashtags underneath all your work. Like me, I always put like, I live in the Pocono, so I put Pocono braider, traveling braider, mobile hairstylist, and then I also hashtag the work that I do. Like, I'll be like, waist length knotless braids or a kid's hairstyle, something like that. So when people are searching for certain things, you come up. So use as many hashtags as possible. And honestly, with social media, there's so much to say about it and so much to learn about it on how you can promote yourself that way. And that could be a whole separate video, but that would not be a video you get from me, because I am not a social media person. I try and keep up with it because I have to, but I am not the one to come to for tips on growing that way. I watch other people and follow their tips. So work on that, invest some time into social media, but yeah, you definitely want to do that. So that's where having pictures definitely comes into play, because nowadays people aren't asking for business cards like that. People aren't just like, oh, can you email me pictures? Like, when I first started doing hair, people would ask me to email them pictures, and that was almost 10 years ago. No one's asking for that anymore. It's just, do you have an Instagram or do you have a website? So I'll be like, yeah, I have an Instagram. I forgot to mention this when I was originally recording this video. If you're just starting out and you don't really have any pictures yet, but you want to have something to show, one thing that I did when I first started out was I got a whole bunch of friends together and I just made a day out of it where I'll just have everybody come over and just get their hair and makeup done for the fun of it. And I told them I was doing it because I wanted to post it to help, you know, build my page up. At that time, I thought I was a makeup artist too, so I wanted to show off my special occasion skills, so I wanted to do like special occasion hair and makeup, so I had them come over, but they didn't pick the styles, I picked the styles, and I just did it on them, and I just took a bunch of pictures of them at the end of the day, so it was like a fun little photo shoot just for the fun of it, and that's how I got my pictures together. After doing that session, though, I realized I am not a makeup artist, so I never ended up posting any of those makeup pictures. Or maybe I posted one, I think, but I really didn't like them. That was when I first started out, and I had a Facebook page. It was before Instagram was as big as it was. So luckily it's not on my Instagram because I don't like those pictures at all anymore. I came so far. But like I said in my first point, you have to be honest with yourself. And I had to be honest and be like, Kelsey, makeup is not for you. We're not posting this, and we're not going to go further with the makeup artist route. But anyway, that's one thing you can do. Just get a whole bunch of friends together and just make a day out of it and take a bunch of pictures and then just post them all separately so that you have an active page going. Another thing I see some stylists do is they would post on their page and say that they want to get more practice doing a particular style. So first come, first serve. The first 1 or 2 people to respond to this, I'll do this style on you for free. If you're doing that, make sure you set some sort of restriction. Don't just say, I want to get better at knotless braids. Whoever responds to this gets a free head of knotless braids. Don't do that, because then they're going to want small knee-length knotless braids, and then you're working for 16 hours and you're not getting any money for it. If you're doing a free service, you have the right to set a whole bunch of restrictions. So just be like, I'm going to be doing medium shoulder-length braids. You have to bring the hair. If you're doing a free service, they can bring their own hair. That's fine. So that's another way to get some pictures if you just don't have, or you want a particular style and you just don't have the pictures. You can sacrifice some time. Obviously, you're not going to get any money out of it, but it's worth it if you have the picture, and then you get more clients coming in for that reason. Sometimes you're going to have to sacrifice time or sacrifice money, but it's worth it because in the long run, it ends up being more of an investment than anything because it brings in new clients, and now they're all going to be asking for that style because now they know that you can do it. Because nobody's going to book something if they don't see any pictures of it on your site. If they see you just doing box braids, they're not going to ask for feed-in braids. If they only see feed-in braids, they're not going to ask for wig installs, and so forth and so forth. So if you want to advertise a certain service and you don't have pictures, get some friends together and take some pictures, or offer a free service. So the few tips that I can give you for Instagram is obviously always post your work and post on your story. Your page is a lot more active when you're constantly posting on your story. So every time you do hair, post it on your story. Ask your clients if you can tag them, because if you tag them, then they could post that on their story and then their friends will see, and then so forth and so forth. Even when you're just putting a regular post, ask if you can tag your clients. Because some people, they don't want to be tagged because they don't even want people to know it's them. Like a lot of clients would hide their face or whatever. So make sure you always ask. But yeah, if they say it's okay, which they most likely will, tag them so that they can post and their friends can see and so on. And also just ask them to tag you. If you have those clients who are always posting selfies of themselves, just ask them to tag you in the picture. Like I would say it jokingly, and I would just be like, oh, if you're posting any selfies, make sure you tag me in it. And a lot of times they'll be like, oh yeah, of course. And they would be like, oh, my new hairstylist, Kelsey, or whoever did my hair, hooked up my braids, whatever. Just ask them to tag you. Like that goes a long way. And obviously when you're posting pictures, you want to make sure that the pictures are as good quality as possible. So you want to have adequate lighting. You don't want to have too much going on in the background. Make sure, just try and make it look as professional as possible, because this social media page is your portfolio. So along with that, remember, it's your portfolio, not your personal page. Keep your hair page or your business page separate from your personal page. This is your advertisement. This is your professional space. Your clients or your professional clients don't need to see a picture of you on the beach in a bikini from your Miami vacation last summer. They don't need to see pictures of this new recipe you just found and you just had to make it. Your clients should not be scrolling through 47 pictures of your puppy taking a nap before they see a picture of your work. Keep your personal page separate from your business page. And don't get me wrong, you can be a little bit personal on your business page too. Like, you don't only have to post your work. Like, for example, if you do hair, you can show shots of yourself shopping in a beauty supply store. Or if you just ordered like new products or whatever, you could be like, new products just came in. Or even memes that pertain to hair. Like, you can be a little bit personal if you want to and not make it strictly work, but just make sure whatever you post is related to your business and nothing more than that. Keep it professional. So yeah, like I said, we can go on and on with social media. There's so much to it to get your page to grow, but I'm not the person to come to for that, but I have the basics on at least making your page look professional. So the final tip that I have for you guys, and I've mentioned this before, is have a price list ready. Before you even start advertising yourself or promoting yourself as a hairstylist or any type of business, make sure you already have prices ready. And this is a huge mistake that I made, and I've mentioned this to you guys before. When I first started doing hair, I did not have a set price list, so people would be asking me prices on the spot, and I would have to make up something right then and there. And in doing so, I would forget what I charged one person, and then a few weeks later, somebody else would ask me for the same thing, and I'll have to make up a whole new price. And then in my head, I'll have to be like, did I charge you $40 and you $50? Or you $50 and you $40. Obviously, I don't even need to say what's wrong with that. Why are you charging your clients a whole bunch of different prices? Sit down, make a list of all the services that you want to provide. Think about how much you think it is worth to charge for that. Factor in your products, how much time it's going to take you, your labor, all that. Get your prices together, and then start saying, hi, I'm so-and-so and I'm a braider. And even if you can't remember the prices off the top of your head, keep them on a list in your phone or somewhere. Me, I have my whole price list on my phone. And if you have a social media page, your prices should be listed there. And obviously this might seem a little hypocritical coming from me because on my Instagram, I don't have my prices posted. So let me just address that just because. So here's the thing. When people go on your page and they don't see prices, their thought process is, okay, if I'm asking you for a price, you're probably just making something up. You don't have prices posted because you change them every day. You change them according to your client. You're not consistent. That's their thought process. And it's a reasonable, it's a reasonable thing for them to think. Because it does come across as a little dishonest if their prices aren't posted there and they have to personally ask you for a price. Me personally, I wish I could post my price list, but the reason I don't is I work on my own clients. I have my own separate clientele. I do my traveling business. That's all. I work for myself. But I also work at a hair salon as an on-call braider. And before that, I've also worked at a beauty supply store as a braider there as well. So on those two places, they both have their own price list, and then they both charge differently from what I charge. My prices are different from anywhere else because I work by myself. I don't have an overhead to pay, so I don't have to factor that into my prices. Everywhere else does. But all of these different sets of clientele, they all follow my Instagram. So I don't want someone from the salon seeing the price that I post for my personal clients, and they're like, oh, why do you charge this, but you charge me that? So just to avoid that confusion, I just don't post my prices. But honestly, I hate that I can't do that, and I don't recommend anyone doing what I do because it gets so complicated. Having multiple jobs is one thing, but when it's all in the same field, it's so complicated, and I don't recommend it. I don't plan on doing this forever. I've always planned on having my own business, but I kind of just got this job without even asking for it, and that's just what happened. Like, I'm not even gonna get into that, but that's the reason I don't post my prices. But I do have my price list saved on my phone, so when somebody DMs me and they ask me how much I charge for something, I'll be like, oh, that service is whatever, let me send you my entire price list. And then I just copy and paste it off by notes in my phone, and I send it to them right away. So obviously, if I'm sending you an entire price list within seconds of me first responding to you, I obviously didn't just make that up. So I feel like doing that, they automatically know, okay, this isn't a price that you just made up because you have this whole set list right here. And then if someone from the salon wants the prices, I just give them the website for the salon. So that's what I do, and that's why my prices aren't posted on my Instagram. But whenever I go back to working for myself only, they will be posted there because it's just more honest. So if you're in that situation, or for any reason you can't, or you just don't want to post your prices on your page, I recommend having your price list saved somewhere, so when somebody does ask you, you can send them the entire thing. Don't ever give them the price for that one service and that's it, because it seems like you're making it up. So make sure you give them that price, and then along with it, your entire price list immediately. And my price list, it has all my prices, and then down the bottom I have my deposit, send me a deposit and traveling info as well. So they know it's not something that I just put together. It's already saved and set in stone. So that is all the tips that I have for building your clientele if you're starting off as a new stylist. Feel free to ask me any more questions. If I think of any more, I'll make a separate video. I'm always making multiple videos on the same topics because as I make videos, I'm like, oh, I could have said this, I could have said that. So if I have more tips, I'll share more later. But those few tips are what helped me build up my clientele when I first started off doing braiding on my own. So I hope you guys found that helpful. I wish all the best to all you new stylists out there. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!